During today's video, I am going to be discussing how to correctly cite your sources for your independent investigations. You received this packet in December, and there are also copies you can print off on the website. I'm going to focus on grades 4 and 5 today, since it covers all the other material that will be used in the other grade levels. So as I scroll down, must have passed it, let's see. So here's works cited for grades 4 and 5. I'm going to do a book with one author first, and then I'm going to do an article from online. Any other resources that you are having trouble citing, please contact me and I will help you with those. But since these are probably the two most common ones, those are the ones we're going to talk about today. So if you look here, it's going to give you directions. So you need to know the author, the last name first, the title of the book, and then the city of publication, publisher, and date of publication. When doing a works cited, you can either type it on Microsoft Word or you can use a white line piece of paper. Either is fine. You're going to title it Works Cited in the middle, and then you're going to start on the left side typing in. So if we look at the book that I have here, Molly's Pilgrim, it's by Barbara Cohen. So I'm going to type in on Microsoft Word the last name first of Cohen, comma, Barbara. Oops, Then I finish the sentence, so I put a period. The next step, it says that I need to get the title of the book underlined. So if I look here, it says Molly's Pilgrim. So I'm going to type in Molly's Pilgrim, period, and then I'm going to underline it. And I put the period again because I finished a step. The third step, this is where it differs for each grade level. So for 4 and 5, you need to put the city of publication, the publisher, and date of publication. For the younger grades, you might have just had to put the city of publication and the year, but I'm going to do all three, as I said, because that way everyone understands. So the first thing we have to look at, as I said, is city of publication. So we go here, and we get the city of publication. So if you look on the first page, you don't see any information. Second, doesn't give you anything you need. Usually after the title page is when you'll find when the book was published and where. So it says published by Bantam Doubleday Dell Books for young readers, and then in New York, New York, and then it says copyright 1983. If it was copyrighted several times, you pick the latest date. So I'm going to scroll this down. So I'm going to put in the city of publication, which was New York, New York. So we go back to our works cited, type in New York. Oops. And then I'm going to put in my colon. Then I put in the publisher, which this one's kind of long, so I'm just going to abbreviate and put B, D, and then DB. And then it says I need a comma and date of publication, which I said was, I'm just checking here, 1983. And period, because then again you finish your step. So that's how you're going to do a works cited for your print sources, such as your book. Now remember, you need to have 3 sources, 1 primary and 2 secondary. A book counts as your printed secondary, and then you're going to need, so you have your published secondary and then your printed. So your published secondary would be considered a book, and then your printed secondary source would be like an article that you found online, such as Your Brain and the Nervous System, which I've been using this whole time. I've just taken pieces out of. Then the last one you're going to need to cite is any primary source. So this is if you went on a field trip, did an interview, had watched a television program, or a movie or DVD. So I'm going to slowly scroll through this since you do not have a copy of this on your own. And then if you have any other primary sources that you need help citing, let me know. Okay, so now let's go back to our online sources, and it says websites. So here it says websites, and then here are the directions that I need in order to complete my works cited from a website. When looking at my article, it's easier when they're printed because it will give you more information. But as I scroll through, I don't see any authors. So that is unknown. It does not say by. If it says by or written by or any of those clues, you can put the author, but I do not have that information, so I'm going to move to the second piece. Title of your article. Notice how they're in quotation marks because yours should be in quotation marks. So your brain and nervous system. So I go here and I type in quotation marks, your brain and nervous system. I put a period here because it's the end of a step and it's inside the quotation marks. The next step you need to add is your title of website. This is where it gets kind of tricky. So if I go here, my website is Kids Health. So look for the big title, or if you look in your website URL, it says kidshealth.org. So that's a big hint on what you're using. So then I'm going to type in Kids Health, period, and this is going to be, check here, it's typically underlined. So I don't know why it doesn't say underlined, but it should be underlined. And then the last thing you need, or last two, is the electronic address. So I'm going to go, and since I have my article pulled up on my browser, I'm going to copy and paste it. So that way I don't have to write the whole thing. And then you put a period, and after that, the last thing is when I visited. So I visited it last today, which is 10 March 2015. And yes, I understand this is not how we usually speak when stating the date, but when you're doing a works cited, you put the date, so the number, then the month, then the year. And you're done with your second source. So we've done the book, we've done the article, and now we're going to do your primary source, which is what you did. Now, I am going to pretend that I did, let's say, I went to the Museum of Science because I was trying to go on as many field trips as possible. So I went to the Museum of Science just like this. So I typed in Museum of Science, and then it was the end of the step, so I put a period because it was the site. Where did you go? Then location. The Museum of Science is in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So I put Cambridge, comma, MA for Massachusetts, period, and then the date. So I went on February 20th, 2015, so I put 20 February 2015. If I did an interview, it's the person interviewed, not who is interviewing, but the person you interviewed. Then the type of interview. So what type? Did you do it in person? Did you do it on the phone? Did you do it through email? Did you do it through Skype? It's going to be, so if Mrs. Freeland Levy did this, it'd be Friedland. Then Judy is her first name, period. Then I interviewed her over the phone, so it was a telephone interview. And I did this on the 19th of January in 2015. I also said you could do television shows or movies. So if you watched a television program, it'd be title of segment, the title of the program, then where did you watch it, what network, and then the city of the station and the broadcast date. So if you watched The Secrets of Lost Empires on Nova, and then the station was PBS, and PBS is located in Boston, you would put the WGBH in Boston, and then February 3rd. Now that one's a little more confusing, so if you have any trouble with it, just let me know. And then lastly would be movie or DVD. So it would be title, director or producer, and then the date. So if you watch Jurassic Park, it would be The Lost World, directed by Steven Spielberg in 1995. Now I'm going to copy and paste the interview to show you what yours should look like. Now this is a different font. So I'm going to change the font to 12 and Times New Roman. And then you need to have your works cited alphabetized. That means by last name, C, and then your title is going to be your next choice. So Y and F. These should be in alphabetical order, meaning going A, B, C, D. They need to follow that order. So C is before Y, yes, but F comes before Y, so I needed to move the interview up. I'm asking that you have 5 sources cited, and you're going to bring it in next week, so the week of the 17th, and then you're going to paste it once it's approved onto the back of your display board. I hope this movie is helpful, or this video is helpful for you, and if you have any other questions, just let me know. You have my email and then phone number as well. All right, thanks.